Hi, guys, and welcome back to another episode here on the Sweet Life Entrepreneur and Business Podcast. I'm April Beach, host of this show, and I'm so glad you're tuning in today. So, if you are a subject matter expert, a consultant, or a coach, and you are ready to move out of the end user consulting, meaning you have been working B2C and you're ready to move over to work with other businesses, other coaches, and other consultants, and you're not really sure how to make that transition or even what options are available to you. Well, in this episode, I'm going to unpack for you the simplest strategy that I've been teaching and helping our clients do to transition from B2B to B2C for 15 years. And you're going to be surprised at how easy this transition is. But before we can dive into this transition, I'm going to unpack all of the things I want you to be thinking about first to make sure this is the right move for you. Because when you move in this direction, it's not something that we can easily reverse. So in the beginning of the show, I'm going to help you think through considerations as to whether or not you're ready for this. And then in the second half of the show, I'm going to unpack a 1-2 punch strategy for you so that you can actually move in this direction and open up this next level business design world for you. I'm super glad that you're here. This is episode number 315. And if we don't know each other yet, my name is April Beach. I have been coaching subject matter experts, coaches, and consultants to develop their $1 million offer ecosystems and to license their content to other companies for decades. And I'm super glad that you're here. So all of the resources that we have for you on today's show, all of the links and the tools, they all can be found in our show notes. So if you're listening to this on the go and you forget, just cruise over to sweetlifeco.com. All the resources and links and tools and the transcription, everything that we have created here for you to help you make the most of this content and apply it right away will be found at sweetlifeco.com. Okay, let's go ahead and dive in. All right, let's dive into the nitty gritty of this episode here. So we're talking about the opportunity for you to move from B2C consulting to B2B business coaching and strategic consulting. And first of all, I want to unpack who is this for? So this episode in general is for those of you guys who are established consultants. You're an established coach or you're an established subject matter expert, and you have already been working with clients some time. You have a track record of getting clients results, and you've already created systems and methods and processes to get clients results. You've used these. You may have courses and trainings and retreats that you host or one-on-one consulting sessions, one-on-group consulting sessions. Basically, you have done that side of your business. You have built your business. You're good at what you do. You have your offers and your programs. That is who this episode is for. And frankly, that is who's ready for this conversation. Now, when we're talking about moving B2B, there are some things that I want you to be thinking about because it sounds really sexy and you're probably seeing other people do it and you think that it could be really lucrative, but I'm here to unpack the back end of it as well so that you're really sure whether or not this is a good decision for yourself. So here are some markers that you may identify when you're ready to move over to B2B coaching. So the first thing is are you still super happy and excited about working with your clients? So if you are kind of getting to this place where you've been serving clients a long time, you've been doing what you've been doing, and you're ready for something new, you're ready to move up for a new challenge or maybe another level of impact, another level of significance that you're having, and you're feeling like you want to impact more people. You're probably thinking, oh, well, I'm going to be doing less people in this way. And you're actually not. I'll explain it to you. But you want to do something higher, bigger, more. Maybe you just are ready for a totally different challenge. Then B2B consulting is a great opportunity for you. If you've done that, you've been there, you've done that, you feel like your programs are on a roll and you want to level up your business, level up your thought leadership, level up your personal brand, level up your business brand, and level up your profit, B2B is really the way to go. Here is the warning though. If you still want to be completely hands-on in B2C, so you still want to be the primary person delivering all your programs, you just love your whole business to consumer side of your business, even if you're working with other coaches, whatever that is, you love it, love it, love it, and you're not ready to get out of it, then maybe it's not quite the time for you. And then another consideration for you when we're talking about moving over to B2B is, are you ready? And hear me out when I say this. It might give you like little heart palpitations. Are you ready to allow other people, to other coaches like you, perhaps, to access your materials, to access your systems, to access your IP, to access your, all of your SOPs and your processes and your trainings? Does the thought of that make you super excited? Or are you like, oh no, I don't want anybody seeing all of my assets, all of my IP and my gold. I could never imagine another company having access to my stuff and me not being the one to actually distribute it. So those are just some things I want you to think about. There are no right or wrong answers there, but my job, my responsibility, my passion for what I do in our industry is pouring in all these strategic thinking objectives for you so that you can make smart choices for yourself. So those are just some of the things I want you to be thinking of. When we're talking about moving from a B2C business model and moving over to a B2B business model, we have to take in a lot of considerations. And here's some very specific questions I would love for you to address for yourself. So first of all is, what do you want to be known for? What do you want to be known for in your space? Do you want to be known as this person, this front runner? Or do you not really care if your name is all over everything, but maybe it's more important for your methods and your teachings to get in the hands of more people? That is one thing I just want you to be thinking of. And then the next thing, like I talked about, is what are you excited about? What work do you want to do? What are you really excited about, creating new things or working with new people, or helping to make an impact in your industry in a different way? If you're excited about that, that is really an important indicator that you're ready possibly to move into B2B coaching. And then the third thing is, how important is it to you to expand the reach of your work? So let's kind of unpack what this looks like. When you are working B2C, even if you are doing huge launches of group programs, you're still only impacting the end users of that program. Whether you have 10 or 20 or 20,000 people in your program, you're still only impacting 10 or 20 or 20,000 people with your program. When you go to a B2B model, let's say, for example, you are going to give another consultant an opportunity to share your program's content. Your work only lies in the effort to bring those other consultants and coaches up to speed. So let's say you have 5 different consultants and coaches that you're working with on a B2B capacity, and you're allowing them to share and distribute your work. And now let's say that each one of those coaches had 20 or 200 or 20,000 people in their program. Now look at what you've done. It's basic math that you are creating an exponential reach with your work. And a couple of cool things happen when we do that. Number one, your workload actually tends to be reduced. Number two, you get to be elevated to that thought leader space. Number three, you get to work with more go-getters, gung-ho people that are really passionate about the same things you are, and support them. And you don't have to be the one usually in all the marketing and the nitty gritty and some of the really tiring work that tends to happen and burn out coaches and consultants and service experts. You don't have to be a part of that anymore. And so moving from B2C to B2B could be a really great option for you. And if those things make you excited, then you're in the right place with this podcast. You're also in the right place for working with us at the Sweet Life Company. This is what we do. We help establish coaches and subject matter experts and consultants develop your next level programs and sell them B2B through licensing and certification and other ways we can expand your reach. So now what I want to do for you, as promised, is I want to unpack the most basic but super powerful. So just because it's basic, don't think it's not good. As a matter of fact, we have a handful of clients that have completely revolutionized their entire business model with these steps I'm giving you here. And they have never been happier. As a matter of fact, I just talked to a client yesterday and we worked with her to change her business model from B2C to B2B. And she literally sent me a message yesterday. She said, April, I have never been more happy in the work I'm doing. I've never felt like I was really able to make the impact I was called to make. And here I am with these simple changes. And thank you so much. And it's just amazing. As a matter of fact, she actually graduated out of our program. She doesn't even need us anymore because she is out in soaring and flying on her own and making this impact. So just because what I'm going to tell you is simple, please take it to heart, because this is what people pay me a lot of money to tell them. All right. And so that's what our podcast insiders get. So the first business model to move you to B2B from B2C is what I call a 1-2 punch. So that would be creating a training program for your competition. This is what we call turning your competition into your clients. Let me say that again because it's a good punchline and I messed it up. This is what I call turning your competition into your clients. So we can literally take your competition and bring them into an ecosystem, and you can create a certificate or a certification program and actually certify other professionals in your established methodology, or you can certify them to use your tools or your process. So we are duplicating you. So step one is the building of that certification program, bringing other people that used to be your competition now into an amazing ecosystem of all these different businesses that might be working with similar audience. We may have seen that they're like quote unquote competitors in the past, but now all of a sudden you're creating a collective of like-minded people that are all working towards and achieving this goal. And they all understand one thing, one very important, powerful thing. They all know your processes, your methods, your frameworks, your systems, and they're all able to tell people that they are certified or trained or accredited or whatever words you want to use. We're not going to get into all the language here in this. There are ramifications for the language you use, good and bad, but they are trained in your methodology. And so what this does for us is it helps us to open up this entire world in where you are working with these people, you're having these mastermind meetings, you're training people in your ways and your ninja skills, and you are giving them all of your steps and tools and processes. And you know who this is really great for? This is really great for your competition that isn't quite to where you were in business. Like they always looked up to you. So you're thinking, wow, who would want to do this? Let me tell you who. They're usually businesses that have not achieved the level of success that you have with your clients. And so they're looking for these shortcuts. They're looking for ways where they can provide their clients with better results. And then therefore, now my dogs are barking. And then therefore, when they provide better results to their clients, then they make more money. And then it's also expanding the reach of your work. So when we're talking about a 1-2 punch, step number one is creating an opportunity for other businesses to become certified or trained on your methodology, and they can take that into their own programs, services, businesses, courses, retreats, masterminds, memberships, whatever that is. And in the process, we're elevating you as that thought leader. Still, you're making more money, but you're not the one having to deliver it. So that's step number one. And then the 1-2, here you go. Here's the right hook, left hook of this business strategy is then on the after that, after you have validated that they're good at what they do, they can follow along the processes, then you give them an opportunity to license your materials and actually use your trainings, coaching, steps, worksheets, all of your materials within their own consulting programs. So first of all, you train them in your ways, like Star Wars Padawan. I have to use that reference because I just finished watching all of the Star Wars Ahsoka series with my teenage boys. And if you are a parent and you have boys, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. So, in Star Wars, they have like the Jedi and they have like the Padawan. Well, you can create that. You can create these little Padawans with your methodology and in all of your thoughts and teach them what you know. So instead of competing, you're creating a collective of amazing professionals that are all centered around using your genius work to elevate their clients. And then part two, after they're certified or accredited, or they've received the stamp of approval or whatever you end up calling it, then you give them permission to use your materials in their own business. And that is called a license. So there's the certification and the training period first, and then there is the licensing period where you give them permission to utilize your materials in their programs with their people. And this, by far, my friends, is the quickest, fastest way to transition you from B2C to B2B. Here are a couple of things that we know. The people that admire you the most, the businesses that are really tracking and following along with what you're doing because they're trying to be like you or they're trying to level up, they're on your email list. They're following what you're doing. When our clients in the past have put out a statement saying, we're about to do something totally different. We're about to take our program system training and allow for other coaches and consultants to learn it, to access it, to see on the inside. And I'm going to teach you my ways. It is gangbusters. All of a sudden, literally in one email or one social post or one video, we have taken you from swimming in that red ocean, competing with all these other people, to elevating you, catapulting you. You're on a yacht. You're on a parasail flying over the water. You are in a totally different realm where all of a sudden you are leading the way because you're thinking differently. The definition of a thought leader is not somebody who's just talking about all this stuff all the time. It's somebody that's truly thinking and working in a different way and presenting their ideas and their business and in questioning things and disrupting things. You're literally leading a different way of thinking. And when you transition from B2C to B2B in this way, we are instantly elevating you to that thought leader platform, and people are going to follow you because they see that you're doing something different and they see that you're including them and you're not trying to bury them and smush them, that you're literally collectively working to build a future of profit for everybody. And that is one of the most powerful things that I can share with you about moving from B2B to B2C over to B2B. So let's kind of recap what we talked about in this episode. It's a short, power-packed episode, but again, my job here is to introduce you to the world of B2B strategic consulting, licensing, next level offers and programs. And so in this, you're going to get from us here on the podcast strategic thought processes for those of you guys that are ready for these next levels of business strategy. And of course, we're here for you when you are ready for the coaching and you're ready to dive in, you're ready to get our processes to be successful in this. Of course, you know where to find us at sweetlifeco.com, and we're ready and willing to work with you. We can't wait to work with you. But my job here is just to get you to think differently, especially in an oversaturated consulting and coaching space. So with that being said, what we talked about today is if you have an established consulting business, coaching business, you're a subject matter expert, you're a service-based entrepreneur of some kind, and you've been doing what you've been doing. You have great processes, you have great methods, you have great steps of service. They've gotten people results in the past, and you're kind of over it. You're ready. You're kind of wondering what's next, or I'm getting burned out. I'm ready to make more money. I'm ready to help more people. I'm ready to expand the reach of my work. I'm ready to get out of marketing and online funnels and all of these things that tend to be incredibly exhausting for really hardworking coaching and consultants that are trying to continue to scale their business. If that's where you are, a consideration of moving to B2B is something that would be really, really good for you to take a moment and think about. And today on this episode, I have shared with you the 1-2 punch of a business model that you can use, that many of our clients use to go from this B2C to B2B. And that business model is, first part of it is creating the access to your systems for other coaches and consultants, creating a community, creating collaboration. We've talked about this for the last 3 years, is that community and collaboration and partnerships is the future of business growth. It's not competition, it's collaboration. That sounds like such a cheesy Instagram line, but here I'm showing you the business model of how that works. It's not a cheesy Instagram line. It's a business strategy. And I want you to have the best of the business strategies to elevate the work and to be rewarded financially and in your lifestyle for the work that you've done. So that first punch is creating an environment to bring in other people that could benefit from understanding your processes and your methods and giving them access to it. And then part 2 is then for maybe all the people or a small portion of the people, licensing them the ability to even utilize your materials and your trainings, your recordings, your teachings. You can even give them, and this is like the last bonus tip I'll give you. I'll share with you a little story. I have been doing this since 2008 in my own business. It's one of the reasons why I'm qualified to teach people how to do this. I've been doing this for a very long time. And at one point in time, at first, I just gave other businesses the recordings of my classes. And I said, you can distribute these in your business. But then I realized, just like we want you thinking about, we're always creating offers and programs that is the best for our people. We want to serve our people. And so in that same line of thinking, even though they used to be what you consider competition, they're my clients now. And I was thinking, what would really be the best for them? What would really make these consultants, these coaches look so good to their clients? And what would make them make more money? Because when they make more money, I make more money. And I realized that I wanted to literally give them all of my curriculum and even give them the ability to re-record my classes with their face, their voice, even in some cases, their company logo on them. And as soon as I realized how to package my IP in a way that would allow for other businesses to succeed and make more money, and it was all about them, and I wasn't trying to hold on to so much control, because I was ready to do something else and I was ready for the next level of my life and my business. So I was okay with that. That is when all the floodgates were opened and everybody just got so freaking blessed. It was absolutely incredible. And the profits have been rolling in ever since. And so those are some of the things I want you to be thinking about here as we talk about this transition. But now that you've listened to this whole episode and we've spent about 20 minutes together, the most important thing is coming back to the beginning. Are you ready for this? Are you holding on to your work that you want to be the only one teaching what you teach and how you teach it and the way you teach it? And if that's where you are, that's awesome. It's the identification that that's where you are. You could be there forever. And that is absolutely so cool for you. But if you're to that place where you're like, yeah, I think I can kind of loosen this up a little bit. And I think I would be okay with others understanding my secrets, my intellectual property, my secret sauce, my unique method and framework that, is just absolutely delivering guaranteed transformations. As soon as you realize that it's okay and you're ready to open up that grip a little bit and you're ready to think bigger, think at the next level, think about a more reach and how many more people you can impact and how much more money you can make, and you're ready for that next level of your business, then this is a great move for you to consider. And as we're here kind of a little bit towards the beginning of this new year, when you're listening to this, we're going to be focusing a lot here in 2024 on the Sweet Life podcast, unpacking a lot of strategies that we work with our very high level private clients and with clients in our Amplify ecosystem. I'm going to be sharing some of these things with you because I want to introduce this. I want to introduce you to some of these things that you may not be aware of that I know are going to make a huge impact in your business. And this is one of those episodes that could literally, if you listen to this and you think on it and you start taking action on it, this is one of those episodes that could be a complete life changer for you in your business moving forward. And I hope that you give this particular episode the attention that it deserves and to give yourself permission to ask yourself those questions that we talked about in the beginning. You can always replay this. And of course, we are here for you when you're ready to make these transitions and you want a strategic partner. to think about all the ins and outs, to help you decide what you give away and what you keep, and to give you the frameworks and the processes to actually build this next level of your business, I would love for you to reach out to us. You can find all of our resources by visiting sweetlifeco.com. We have programs, we have accelerators, we have retreats, we have one-on-one, and we have amazing workshops that will bring you and your business into this next area. Thank you so much for tuning into this show. I can't wait to drop more trainings for you this year and all the experts we have lined up to work with you this year. And we just really appreciate you sharing this show with your friends.